Hey everybody, welcome to Ongaku Concept. This week I had a video planned and that fell through at the last minute, so I was doing some transcribing in preparation for that video, and I decided why not show off some of the tools that I use when transcribing. So first of all, I will mention that transcribing, which is the process of working out a song by ear and writing down the notes that you hear, is one of the most valuable things that you can do as a musician. Whether you're a composer or an arranger or a performer or whatever, it's one of the most valuable things you can possibly do. I heartily recommend it to anybody who's looking to further their abilities as a musician of some kind. So I want to show you some of the resources that I use. If you're dealing with video game music or anime music or whatever like I do, VGMDB is the best place you can possibly go. So say I'm looking at the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack, a song on there. So I just look for Sonic Adventure 2, and it brings up this whole list of tracks, of albums, some re-releases, some not. I know that this is the name of the album. So I go over here, say I'm looking at Escape from the City. Alright, that's track 3 on disc 1. Composers, Jun Sonoe, tracks 1 through 12. Alright, and I think finding credits is properly attributing credits, composer, arranger, whatever, to songs is very, very important. So if you're looking for composer information, VGMDB is the place to go. This is also really useful for, because over time you'll start to identify, okay, if you know a certain composer did a certain song, then you'll start to identify their tics and habits when composing. And that can help you analyze and study their style if it's a composer that you're interested in. All right, moving on. There is a website called Dolmet. I don't know. Basically, there is a whole list here of how to organize an orchestral score. And when working with orchestral pieces, there's so many instruments that it can get really confusing really quickly if you don't organize them. So whenever I'm working with an orchestral track, I will go through this and I will set up my score accordingly, and that just makes it really easy to work through. So this is a really good site. I go back here pretty often, and there's even layouts for different orchestra, like when you're working with band or a brass quintet or whatever. So this is a really useful page, and really, really good for setting up scores. Next is the On Music Dictionary. So this has, as you would expect, it's a dictionary on musical terms, and it actually also has quite a bit of information on instruments in general. So if you're looking for, if you are trying to figure out what something means, look it up in here. It'll tell you. So say, I'm looking up, I have no idea what a fermata is. It's a notation marking directing the performer or ensemble to sustain the note of a composition affecting all parts and is lasting as long as the artistic interpretation of the conductor allows. Okay, now I know what this sign means. It's really, really useful. Lastly is the MuseScore Handbook, because I use MuseScore as my notation software of choice. You may use Finale or Sibelius or some other. MuseScore is incredibly helpful, especially if you don't have the money for Finale or Sibelius, because it's free, it's open source, and it's a really powerful score editor. So I highly recommend it if you're just getting into transcribing, and their handbook is super clear, really easy to understand. And so I go back here when I'm trying to figure out how to do stuff. Alright, so those are kind of the resources that I use, online resources that I use when transcribing. If you haven't tried transcribing, I heartily recommend it, as I mentioned earlier. Please get into it. It's a bit overwhelming at first, but you will get used to it, and it's so, so useful. If you'd like to see me transcribe any songs in particular, let me know. I might transcribe them on the show. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week.